Okay, the horrors of haircuts.
I feel like all of us have gone through the same stages of getting a haircut. The first stage consists of one of your parents taking you to a random barber,
Oh,
and
when
they
we're
also
young.
choose
Yep,
your
yep, yep.
haircut for you. Some common cuts that I had and saw
Balls.
growing up were like
Balls.
different variations of buzz
Yep.
cuts, bowl cuts, or just any cut where it was short on the sides and a bit longer on the top.
I mean, you're lucky. I had just straight balls, just no hair on the top, no fade. I only got a fade when I was like 13, 14. Like that is when I was allowed to actually choose my haircuts. And at first I didn't know what to choose. They just had like the pictures on the wall and I just pointed at a random one each time. I didn't even remember. But damn.
These types of cuts, I had them from when I
Those were
popped out the
diabolical,
womb
though.
until I was like around 10 or 11 years old. Once
Okay.
you reach like grade 5 or 6, that's when
Ow.
people started to choose different types of
Yep.
haircuts of their own.
Mine was like
You got
12,
the
13.
infamous side part or bowl cut for Asians. The high top.
Wait, I thought my audio cut off. What the hell is this? Is it an actual haircut people get? There's no shot. The curtains aren't that bad. They're a little overplaying, but they're not bad. This is diabolical. This is diabolical. Do people still get this? No, right?
The high top or just short hair for black
I had both,
people,
yeah.
and the crew cut or bowl cut again for white people. Once you get around to the start of high school, that's when I feel like most people
Dude,
evolve.
okay, no joke. This hairstyle, like with the dye tips and everything, this seemed so cool to me like years ago, like many years ago, like when I was a teenager. Would I have gotten it as a teenager if I had this hair texture? Probably not. But rocking this back in 2016, I know you were fresh to death, dude.
From the side parts, bowl cuts, high tops, like those type of haircuts,
I rocked
to
the high
even
top for
better
so
or
long.
sometimes even worse haircuts. The Asians would start getting perms and 16
Perms
guards.
are kinda cool.
The Hispanics would start to get Edgars.
I
The
don't
black
like
kids would
Edgars.
start to
The
experiment
dreads,
with
yep.
locks and braids, and white kids would get either mullets or the infamous fluffy hair or
Oh,
ice cream
hell
hair.
no.
And from this
I
stage going
actually don't mind the
onward,
mullets.
there might be a sudden urge to just buzz all of your shit off and start
Yep.
a new arc,
Yep.
but it might just end up leaving you
That's
looking
me.
chopped as fuck. And if you don't end up getting a buzz cut, you have probably found a haircut that suits you, and you probably have a good go-to barber that will not cook your shit. Throughout all the stages of getting a haircut, there has been at least one time where you ask specifically for some type of fade on the sides and a little bit off the top, and the barber just fucks your shit up.
Yep, that was the worst thing.
There was this one
It's like they went through a breakup and they're like giving out all the stress and all the animosity and everything, and your haircut specifically. Like they were just in a bad mood today. The orders got mixed up. Their ex cheated on them for the 5th time, something crazy like that. And then they just destroy your shit for like 2-3 weeks.
time in 2021 where my hair was probably
2020.
the longest it's ever been. And if you know, during 2020 to 2021, it was very difficult to get a cut because we were all stuck inside, bruh. After like a week or two of school opening back up, my hair was still hella long and I was desperate for a cut. So on a Saturday morning, I checked if the barber that I usually went to was available, and to my surprise, he was not. And I forgot to mention this earlier. Not only was my hair long as hell, getting into my eyes and
I had
shit,
to cut
but
it
I
myself,
also had a
dude. It was
perm.
messed up.
Yeah, bro. I really saw those straight hair to perm transformations on TikTok.
They look
I
kind
really
of cool,
thought
though.
I could start pulling more girls after I got a perm. And if you
Depends
have
on
gotten
how
a perm
you do the
before,
perm.
it grows out in like the worst way possible. Because your hair is gonna be wavy or curly at the ends, but straight at the roots. So you just look like a mushroom or just like the head of a dick.
What is that clip, bro? But yeah, I actually never thought of that. Yeah, because it grows out, so it grows straight. So you have to keep permanently like not dyeing it, perm it. I didn't think of that.
So yeah, bro,
More you
I
know.
needed a cut desperately. I searched up barbers near me on Google Maps, and I ended up finding one at the mall close to my house. And without checking any of the reviews, I went to the mall and pulled up to the barber shop.
Oh, wait,
One thing I
no
noticed about this
reviews?
spot that
Hell
started
no, that's
giving
a
me
big
bad
mistake. Nope,
vibes
nope,
was
nope,
that
nope,
a
nope,
majority
nope,
of the
nope, 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 nope,
customers
nope,
and the
nope, nope.
workers at the shop were women. And most
Hey, you explain yourself. That's very dangerous.
of them weren't even getting haircuts. They were getting like some type of dye or hair treatment. When I saw this, I was
So
like,
nobody
bruh,
getting a
I'm
cut.
not trying to be sexist or nothing, but you know what I mean? Like the odds of them knowing how to do a mid blowout taper with a textured fringe
Damn,
would be
okay,
pretty
yeah.
low. And
That's
amongst the
complicated
female
as hell.
workers, there was this old dude working there at the very back of the shop.
Why is he
And I
trying to
saw
gang
him cutting this
signs?
little white kid's hair. And once the kid's cut was finished, he had like a crew cut but with like a flat ass fringe. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, GG's.
No,
He's
leave.
fucking my shit up for
Leave,
show.
leave,
And after
leave,
that, he
leave,
then
leave.
called me over. Looking back now, I should have just trusted my gut and just walked
Why
right
did
out
you
the
leave?
store. But at the same time, I was insanely desperate to get my hair out of my eyes and just get it cut shorter, bro. I walked over and took a seat in front of one of the mirrors, and he
Let's
asked
see the
me
picture,
what
bro.
haircut I wanted. And
Let's
of
see the
course,
picture.
I hit him with the classic, just the mid fades on the sides
He is
and
not
back,
gonna
and
do
just
that.
a
He
small
is
trim
not-
on the top. Throughout the duration of the cut, there were several signs that this barber had no idea what the fuck he was doing. Even when I was communicating to him about what cut I wanted, it sounded like he barely knew English. And when he started working on the fade, the clippers felt hot as fuck. Like it felt like I
That's
was
the
getting
worst.
burned, bro.
That is
And the
literally the
motion he
worst.
was doing with the
They
clippers
need to.
while he
I think
was
they need to like let the clippers cool down or something before they cut again or something. But those hot ass clippers are literally the worst thing ever because they legit feel like they're burning you intentionally, and they don't realize it.
doing the fade
the worst.
just didn't feel right either. During the fade, he would also blow hard as fuck.
You know, things are bad when you're getting a haircut and like after like a minute of getting a haircut, you immediately regret it. That is the worst feeling. Like you start cold sweating and you want to see yourself in the mirror before stopping because you don't want to judge before you.
On my face to get rid of some excess hairs or some. I don't know. It was the first
It's
time
the
I experienced
worst,
that.
dude.
And when he started cutting
You-
the top, he ran his fingers through my hair, pulled it up, and he cut like way more than half of it off. After this moment, I just accepted my
Yep,
fate,
you
bro. By the
legit have
time
to
the
accept
old
it.
guy finished
You
the
can't
cut,
stop.
he asked me if it was good.
And you
I
have to
said,
say yes. Yep.
Yeah, good. Yep.
Of course.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to find
why
some
is it
pictures that
bent?
somewhat resembled my cut, but I pretty much had like a short ass fringe swayed to the side, with the fade on one side being higher than the fade on the other side,
Oh,
and there
no,
was
you're
also
cooked.
no fade at all on
You're
the back. Like I looked hideous, bruh. I
You're
remember going
cooked. That's
home
ugly
after
as
the
hell.
cut, and my mom's reaction to it was like, "Wow, your haircut is so good. You look so good." And bruh, if your mom or grandma or just any person
That's
that's
all- if
over
that's
the
it,
age of
that's
40
it, you're
tells you
cooked.
that your haircut looks good,
Wear a hat.
what that
You
actually
better look
means
good
is that your
at
shit is cooked and you should probably get a buzz, bruh.
Yeah,
I
just
remember
come
going to
on
the
up.
mirror
You
in the
should.
bathroom and I started tearing up because of how ass my cut was, bro. 2 days later on Monday, it was time to pull up to school
That's the
with
worst-
my
that's the worst
chopped
thing
ass
to-
haircut. And you already
No,
know,
he's
people
going to
were like,
school.
bro, what happened? Who did this to you? Why'd you cut
Fire,
off the perm?
Baba.
I like your cut, G. And I was getting roasted pretty much. But
Yep.
it was by the homies though, so it was all good. After a long day of feeling chopped as
Should
hell
have
at
just buzzed
school,
it, chat.
I hopped on the school bus to get back home. The school bus I would take would travel on the same road for like the entirety of the trip, and I lived like 35 minutes away. And around the halfway point of the trip,
is that
the
GTA
bus
5?
trip- and I lived like 35 minutes away. And around
Is
the
it?
halfway point of the trip, the bus would stop at this other high school to pick up more students. Usually when the bus would stop at the high school, I would turn the music in my earphones all the way up because the students that would hop on the bus were usually loud and ratchet as hell. Once all the students were on the bus, and after a couple minutes of driving, there was this girl with red hair sitting like maybe 5 or 6 seats in front of me, and she looked back at me as well. I took a quick glance at her, and I didn't really think anything of it, but I did feel her staring at me, or at least just looking in my general direction.
The cut.
Even though I noticed this, I just looked out the window, zoned out, just listening to my music at full volume. And it was 2021, bruh, so I might have had some of that Prime Cash Dami, Sofago, SSG Kobe blasting at full volume in my ear. Usually when I'm one stop away from my bus stop, I would always remove my earphones and put them back in my bag. But when I took them off this time, there was a group of guys sitting across from me, and one of them was like, yo, yo bro, are you good? Like, they sounded concerned, but they were low-key laughing at the same time. And to this, I was like, yeah bro, why? And the guy said, bro, that chick was saying some crazy shit about you. And I was like, I don't know bro, I was just listening to my music. And from there, I just hopped off the bus and started walking home. And now that I think of it, that was like the first and only time in my whole life where I genuinely got bullied. Like, I don't even know what she said, but apparently she said some crazy ass shit, most likely about my haircut or just like my whole appearance. Because when I had my perm or just any other regular cut, that shit has never happened to me before, bro. And to top it off, it wasn't even kids from my own school. When I arrived home, I hopped on Google, and I gave and wrote a 1-star review to that very barbershop or salon or whatever it was. I remember I wrote something along the lines of, that old worker with the mustache.
How bad you need to be to leave a 1-star review? Like, the food has to be that, or the service need to be that bad for you to not only be so dissatisfied that you need to go on there like Yelp or just their Google reviews and leave a 1-star review. And not only a 1-star review, but explain why, dude. That is some next level hatership.
Ooh, bruh. I said the race of the guy as well. Like, I was describing him in full detail. So after I gave the description of what he looks like, I said he needs to be fired immediately because he gave me the worst haircut of my life that caused me to get bullied. And from that day onwards, I never cheated on my barber again. And I always check the Google reviews of any establishment before I end up going to it. Getting a horrible cut is a canon event for every guy. Like, every guy has to experience something like this at least once before they evolve into
character
a full
development,
man. And since this video was about haircuts, I will be giving myself a buzz cut at 100k if we even ever end up hitting it. And I will let you guys choose a hair dye color of your choice as well. Peace.
Pog video. Nice. Okay, chat.